This interview is looking at the quadcopter, and hey, good morning. It's Rod Young here in New Zealand. We're just having a look at the new rules that come in a week's time. So what's Monday today? On this coming, or midnight on Friday, 1st of August is when we have some new rules. So I've just taken a few notes, and I'm just going to go through the various things that I see has some relevance to quad flying in New Zealand. So what was it before? We had line control flying with glow engines, and we now have simple, following on from that, simple RC clicker boxes which could control the plane. Then we went on to better RC glow motors, and then we got into LiPo, which was a new technology in batteries, which allowed us to have vertical takeoff machines, and that's when the quad started. Then we had cameras on board, and then the development from cameras was FPV, first person viewing, and the goggles. And that then allowed us to have remote flying, which allowed us to get outside the line of sight. And then there was mass production of these models, and lots of people have been buying them and testing them out. So the new rules, so what CAA, or Civil Aviation, wants here in New Zealand is 2 hours of their time, which is about $600. And what they'll do is they'll find out if you're a fit and proper person. They want to see your defined flight plan, where you're going to fly and what you're going to do, and they want to see a specific area. So when you get your granted to fly, you are pinned down by those two things. Then you have got, we do see that the model clubs are encouraged, and so the monopoly, however, from Model Fly New Zealand has been removed. So we also have the ability to fly inside without having these rules and regulations, and night flying for some reason is still prohibited, and so that's an interesting development. Okay, so 3, we're looking at where are the resistance points in these new rules. So a person can build a quad off line with instructions, and they can set up the FPV, first person viewing, and then they can start to test using simulators on the computers, and then they become quite good, and then they want to go out into the real world test. So do you need an observer? Under the new rules it says you do. However, when someone's testing it for the first time, do you want to be complicit accompaniment? So if you have an observer that knows that you aren't supposed to be flying in a park, for example, and you are, then you have 2 people that are complicit in an act which breaches the rules. So I'm just wondering if there's going to be a lot of individuals trying things when they don't want to have an observer. So there's going to be a coming in from the cold. Once people become good at quadcopter flying, they want to then come in from the cold and start to adopt the rules and do whatever they need to be doing, maybe joining a club or doing some videos of their stuff. And so the rules are going to gradually be absorbed that way. So I can see an online movement coming and a new body forming which caters for that transition in. So I can see a setting up of a commercial area where the CAA allows a person to take people through the flying experience. So basically you'll join that local club, which will be separate from Model Fly New Zealand, commercial body, and people will go there. You'll get to fly in a simulator. I can see simulators and computers and iPads and tablets being the good first introduction. And then from the best of the simulator demonstration, the commercial body will take on someone who will fly for the first time FPV, perhaps a bit later, but just up and down with the quadcopter. And there'll be an experienced area where people that can fly FPV will start to develop obstacle courses, and then you start to get a person being offered to purchase one when they leave their training ground, and there'll be a shop there, and so all of a sudden there'll be people that will be having a go and then buying them. And it looks like they can fly them at home as long as they stay within around 20 metres, and they've got the permission of their parents, and if they're older, the occupiers and the people on that. Now a question comes up, trespass. Anyone can walk onto a person's property before they're trespassed and allowed to go. So what if someone wanders onto your property when you're flying the quadcopter and they're attacked by the quadcopter and lie mortally wounded in the morgue? What happens then is a person who has been uninvited onto a section but hasn't been trespassed, do they have rights to say that all quadcopters must land and then process that way? So this is an interesting area that I would like to ask the question of CAA. What do you do when people just wander on to an area that's been designated for model flying? Okay, so those are my questions for today. Please subscribe. I would like some more subscribers. We're trying to make the 1,000 mark. So if you're seeing this for the first time, please just click the subscribe, and that just encourages us to do some more research and bring some more facts back to you. Thanks very much. Anyway, back to the flying.